Hey guys, it's Edie. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hope you're doing well, and in today's video we are going to be reading some more Christmas books, because I did do a video, would have been November in last month, where I read Christmas romance books. This month I am reading Christmas romance books, but there's also another Christmas fantasy novella book that I'm going to be reading as well. I have chosen 4 books that I'm going to be reading, and let me just go through each of them and tell you what books I'm going to be reading in the reading vlog. So I'm not going to read it in this order, but I just thought I'd show you the one that I've got on my Kindle first, which is Cruel Winter with You by Ali Hazelwood. This is one of Ali Hazelwood's newest releases. It's a little tiny novella. I believe it's like 70 odd pages long, so it's only take me like an hour and a half to read it, and I don't really know anything else about it apart from that is 73 pages long, and it's a tiny little novella. But I feel like hopefully I will love it, because I have loved every single Ali Hazelwood book that I have read, so hopefully I love this one. And it's so short and sweet. So that's the first book I have chosen. The second book is another little novella, but it's not as long. It's like just over 300 pages, I believe, and it is My December Darling by Lauren Asher. It's in the same universe as, what's the series called? Lakefront Billionaires, I believe that's what it's called, and I believe this is in that same sort of series, and I'm just intrigued by it. But can we just appreciate the dedication in this? Let me show you guys. I don't know if you can see that. It's to do with Grey's Anatomy, and I just love Grey's Anatomy. I'm currently rewatching it right now. The third book I've chosen is a book from Afterlight, and it is Under the Mistletoe with You by Lizzie Huxley Jones. And this is like the Afterlight exclusive version. It's got these nice blue edges, and it's got this like little mistletoe design on the front. This follows like 2 guys, and the concept of it just sounds really intriguing, because they like end up they ended up snowed in the place that this one guy's come in to stay for reasons that I can't remember. I did read the blurb of it, but it just sounds really intriguing. Look at just how cute they are on the cover. And the last book I've chosen is like the fantasy sort of Christmas novella, and it is Spectacular by Stephanie Garber. This is the Waterstones exclusive, so it's got the white cover instead of the black one that the standard one has. And this book is just so pretty. It's got this like foiled sprayed? Just this foiled to the hardcover, and then the end pages, they're this like pretty like flowery thing. And then this book has, I think on it pretty much most pages it has like illustrations. I just love the Caraval series so much, and I'm really excited to like see them again and be in that sort of world. And apart from that and the characters I know that are going to be in this, I don't really know what happens or what this is about. Apart from it's like a Christmas little novella. I've actually chosen 3 novellas and only 1 book, but these are still decent size. They're not like tiny. How long is this one? This one's just over 200 pages, so it's not like a really small novella. I feel like the first book I want to pick up is Under the Mistletoe with You by Lizzie Huxley Jones. I'm gravitated towards this one for whatever reason. So this is the first book I'm going to read. So probably once I've hit the 50% mark, I will come back to you guys with an update of what I'm thinking about this book and my thoughts and feelings and what this book is roughly about. So I'm now roughly like halfway through this book, and I'm quite enjoying it. It's so sweet, so cute, and I'm just like really loving like the characters, and this definitely is giving very much a lot of like Christmas vibes, because it's started on like, I want to say like 20th of December, and it's only now I'm halfway through, and I believe it's like the 23rd of December. So this book is set in like northern Wales, and it follows Christopher and Nash. Christopher's just recently, I can't remember how recently he's moved to this like little small town in North Wales, where he's brought like a bakery, and he's like starting to run the own bakery, and lives in a flat just above the bakery. I just realised I said bakery in that sentence, but anyway, he's going back to spend the time with his sister and her partner. So that's what he's planning on doing for Christmas, and while he's away for Christmas, because he doesn't have that much money, he's like renting the flat out to someone to come stay in, and his one friend in the town, small town that he lives in, has convinced him to like watch like Christmas rom-coms, and there's this one guy in the Christmas rom-coms that always is the main character in the Christmas rom-coms, and he has kind of developed a crush on him, you could say. So he thinks the person that's going to stay in his flat while he's away is a woman. But in reality, it turns out not to be a woman. It turns out to be Nash, which is a person in the films that the rom-com Christmas films. He's about to leave before Nash gets there to go spend Christmas with his sister, but he gets snowed in. None of the trains are running, none of this, no buses, no nothing. He can't leave because he doesn't have a car either, but he couldn't really drive a car because there's too much snow. And then somehow Nash still manages to make his way to this small little remote village in northern Wales. He has nowhere to go and Christopher has nowhere to go, so they kind of end up just sharing the flat together, this tiny little flat. And at first Christopher's like, oh yeah, I'll sleep on the couch and you can sleep in the bedroom. And then second night I think it is, Nash says, you can come sleep in the bed, there's plenty of room. So it's got the one bed trope in it. Nash, being the movie star, he's not from LA, he lives in LA, and he's come away to get away from all the fame, not really fame, but just get away from that sort of life and that world. So that's why he's chosen this random place in North Wales. But he's not actually American, he's Canadian, and there's this like kind of thing that keeps coming up about that, and I find that quite funny. And like the text messages between Christopher and his like friends and sister and all of those are so funny. Is it one of my favourite books I've ever read? No. And now I've just realised you can't even see the cover of this book because I've taken the cover off the hardback, but this is the book we're talking about. Do I just hold this? Let me just do this. There you go. You can see the cover. But anyway, what was I saying? I can't remember now. See, I get sidetracked. I start talking about something, then my brain thinks of something else and I forget what I was just talking about. I feel like this book is probably sitting at 3.5 at the moment. Like, I think I said this, it's not my favourite, but it's not bad, and I am having a good time while reading it. So that's all I have to say at the moment. I'm probably just going to come back now once I have finished it. I don't know if I'm going to finish it today. I'm going to try to, but I might not. But I'll see you when I have finished this book, unless I have any more like thoughts, feelings that I really need to say before that time. So I finished Under the Mistletoe with you, and I thought it was really cute. I did enjoy it, but I feel like it takes place over a short period of time, like most Christmas rom-coms do. It's from like the 20th of December to, I want to say it's New Year's Eve, I think it is. So if you don't like instant love, you might not like it, but they're not instantly in love. I really loved like Christopher's like all his like family and his friends in his like group chat he had with them. I found that so funny, and like it takes place over Christmas, and like they all get snowed in, the whole town, and the way they all come together as a community and the way they help each other out, I just really loved reading that. I thought that was so sweet and so like wholesome, and it just made me like smile seeing everyone going around helping the elderly, all of this sort of stuff. I was like, that's what like a small community does. I would definitely recommend this to people because I did think it was really good and I did enjoy it, and it does give that Christmas vibe. Because I'm not going to say, but they all come together and it's just really sweet, and the ending of it, oh, it made me all happy and warm. But yeah, I did enjoy it. I still am going to give this 3.5 stars because I feel like it didn't stick out to me. It wasn't my favourite, but I did enjoy it, and I would still definitely recommend this. I think the next one I want to pick up is Spectacular by Stephanie Garber, and I'm just really interested to see what this is about, what's going to happen, because all I know, this follows the Caraval characters and it takes place over Christmas. So my camera just died, and I think I was just saying I'm excited to start this because I haven't read the blurb or anything about this, what this book is about, because I kind of want to go in blind and see what it is about, because I'm not expecting any sort of like high sort of fantasy sort of things like that. It's like just like a little novella, just to be back in the world and see the characters again, because I just adore those characters. And can we just appreciate how cute this is? It's so cute, so sweet, and I'm just really excited because there's loads of like illustrations in this book, and I can't wait to see them all. So it's still the same day and I'm in my pyjamas, but I'm basically I think I'm just over halfway probably. I'm on page 113, chapter 10. If you haven't read the Caraval series, I'm not going to spoil it by saying anything. And this book is setting up like a Caraval, like the Caraval book. It's having that competition. What do you call it? Competition? The thing like the Caraval that Legend does. It's setting up to be something like that, but it's a bit different. That's all I'm going to say because I don't want to spoil it, but there's so many illustrations in this book and I'm loving it so much. This is like Scarlett and Julian, and Scarlett and Julian are definitely my favourite from the series. I like Legend and Teller, but Scarlett and Julian just do it for me. And you're not seeing as much of them in there. You are seeing bits of them, but you're seeing, it's more of like Teller you're seeing in this book so far. But I'm still enjoying it because this is like giving all the Caraval vibes, but like just make it Christmas. I always say it's hard to rate a novella because they're so short, but I think it is sitting probably 3 stars at the moment. It's not bad, but it's not great. I just love these characters so much, and I love this like world so much because like just the vibe that it gives out, and like the way Stephanie Garber describes things, especially in the Caraval series. I haven't read the Once Broken Heart series. I'm going to read that soon hopefully, but just the way she described things in that series was just beautiful, and you're not seeing that as much in here. I don't know if that's because it's a novella, so you don't have as much time to explain things and you already know the series as well because of it's a novella, but it is probably sitting at 3 stars at the moment. I will probably be able to finish this tonight, but I probably won't update until the next tomorrow. I could just sit here all day and just look at all the little like illustrations. I couldn't think of what the word was called. Illustrations are in this book because they're just like beautiful. You're like reading a part and it'll be an illustration of what's happening. So I'm just going to carry on reading this and I'll get back to you guys once I've finished with my final thoughts. So it's still actually the same day, and I thought I wouldn't read this as quickly as I did, but I read it quite quickly because it's only like 200 pages. And like, because there's illustration on some pages, there's pages that only have like a couple of lines on, so this book does not take long to read at all. I feel like I am going to stick with 3 stars for this because I did like it and the illustrations were so beautiful. It just didn't feel the same as the rest of the Caraval series. I don't know if it's because it's a novella, it might be because of that. It just didn't give off that same vibe. I think I said this in my previous clip about this. I do like Teller and Legend, but I do prefer Scarlett and Julian so much more, and you didn't even really get to see them in it. And I was hoping you could see more like scenes of them all together, but you didn't really get that. Am I disappointed? I don't really know. Maybe I'm thinking it should be lower rating, but I did like it. It's just not what I expected as well. I don't actually know what book I want to read next, so I'm just gonna decide tomorrow because I'm not going to read another book tonight. I'm just going to wait till tomorrow morning, then I'll pick one. I don't know which one. I have a feeling I might choose Ali Hazelwood one. I'm not sure, I'll have to wait and see, but yeah. I'll see you guys when I've decided which book I want to read tomorrow. So it's now the next day, and the next book I'm going to pick up is the Ali Hazelwood like little novella, which is called It's Cruel Winter With You by Ali Hazelwood. This is like the cover. I know nothing about it, apart from it revolves around something at Christmas. And that's all I really know, because quite often I just like to go in books blind sometimes and not know what they're going to be about and just be surprised. I should be able to read this in like 1 or 2 hours because I believe this is only like, I want to say like 100, less than 100 pages long. I want to say it's like 70 something pages. Probably not an hour, maybe 2 hours I'd say, or maybe an hour and a half, because it usually takes me like, depends how quickly I read. I can read like about 60 pages in an hour, but it depends if I just focus slowly. I can't speak, solely on the book. So there is literally 7 chapters. 7, look. That's how short this book is. 7 chapters. So I finished it already, because I thought there's no point doing an update like when I'm halfway through and the book's only like 70 pages long. I don't really want to say much about what it is because if I explain it too much, it's gonna spoil it. The main female character, Jamie, she like, in her mind she goes back to when they were like, when she first met him when he was a baby, all things like that. Because she is actually older than him by like 2.5 years, I believe it is. Both go home to their childhood homes and she has to go round there to get something. That's all I'm going to say, I think. because I don't want to say anything else. Like I said, I don't want to spoil it too much because it's only a really short book, and I thought it was so sweet, so cute. Like some of the things that Mark said about Jamie, I wanted more. I wanted a whole novel of this, not a novella. I need a whole novel of these two right now. I feel like if you want to read a Christmas book on Christmas Day, I feel like this is the perfect one to read on Christmas Day because it doesn't take long to read. So if you want to spend more time with your family or do things, you can read this, and you can read it in like an hour and a half or something like that because it's so short. I just love Ali Hazelwood's writing, and there was a bit of spice in this. It was only in the very end of the last chapter, so if you did want to skip it, it won't matter too much. And I feel like there's not really much else to say about this because it is a novella, and novellas aren't filled as much with like a normal novel, but even though this is a novella, I think I am going to give it, I don't know, I'm kind of torn between 3.75 and 4 stars. I think I am going to give it 4 stars, you know. I think I am. I'm not going to pick up another book today because I've got some other things to do. I've got to edit some videos and things like that. But the next book we will be picking up, I start it probably tomorrow, is My Darling December by Lauren Asher. I said it the wrong way around, didn't I? I mean My December Darling by Lauren Asher. And this is another little novella, but this one's actually a bit of a longer one. It's 230 pages, so it's quite a bit longer. I believe this is set in the same little universe as the Lakefront Billionaires. I believe that's what the series is called, where it's like Love Unwritten, Love Redesigned. It's that one that has those 2 books in the series. I believe this is the same like universe. And like, can we just like appreciate the little illustrations on there? They're so cute. So I'm probably just gonna update you guys tomorrow once I've probably got halfway through this. So it is now the next day, but it's quite a bit later on in the evening. I don't actually know what time it is because my phone's over there. I believe it's almost like 5 o'clock, somewhere around there. I've been home for probably an hour and a half, and I've only just been able to sit down to start filming today. And I just feel so shattered already because I've been awake since 3:30 this morning because I started work at 4:15. So if my makeup looks a bit rough, that is why. We are now going to start reading the last book that I chose to read in this reading vlog, which is My December Darling by Lauren Asher. So we're just going to get straight into reading it. So it's now the next morning, and I'm having to be a bit more quieter because it's before 7 AM and most of my family is still asleep, but I am on page 157, chapter 18, and it's about 60% of the way through. I am really enjoying it so far. I really like it because this book follows Catalina and Luke. Catalina is like a travelling nurse, and she's currently back at Lake Wisteria staying with her parents because her sister's getting married on the 30th of December. So she's like back for the holidays, and Luke is like a doctor, an ER doctor I believe. And while Catalina is back in her hometown, she's working in the hospital. I believe she works in the NICU, like with the babies after they're born and stuff. I believe that's what she works as. Luke is going to be the best man of the wedding, and Catalina is a maid of honour because it's her sister and Luke's best friend. And it says this on the back. Her sister, Catalina's sister, is marrying her boyfriend. But it's not like weird or anything like that. You'll find out if you read this, but that's all I'll say on that. That's all I really want to say what this book is about so far, because I don't want to say much else because it's such a short book. I feel like if I say too much, I'll just start saying the whole plot of the book. I'm really liking it. I'm having a good time. I feel like I always love Lauren Asher's writing. The part that I read last night, I read it in like an hour or 2. So it's really quick to read. And I'm just loving it, and just the cover and just the whole vibe of like Lake Wisteria. But Luke, not from the very beginning but quite early on, he knows like he really likes Catalina, and Catalina's a bit more reserved in that way, and I really like that. So he's definitely, I believe he's probably definitely fell first. And I'd say it's not like an enemy to lovers, I'd say it's more like a dislike to lovers, because right at the beginning they both don't really particularly like each other, but then they just start to like each other, spend more time with each other. And some of the things Luke has done so far, I literally have less than 100 pages now, so I'm just gonna update you guys with my thoughts, which will probably be the same once I finish this That'll probably be my famous last words now I've said that. It might change, but once I finish this book I'll update you guys. It's now 8:30 in the morning and I've now finished this book and I really liked it. Even though this book it's like a Christmas book, but it doesn't give off the most Christmas vibes. It has like subtle hints of it, and I really appreciate that, because sometimes some Christmas books, they can be a bit like, not overbearing, but maybe a bit too overwhelming with the amount of like Christmas things that happen in them. But this one's very subtle. They do a few different activities and things like that, and I really enjoyed that. And I also feel like I don't know how well I explained the book in the previous clip about what happens in this book, but basically, because Catalina, she's like a travelling nurse, she travels around, and then for Christmas she came to work in the hospital near Lake Wisteria. So after the wedding on January 1st, she's going to a new placement, and the tension of Catalina trying to like fight her feelings for Luke, and that sort of like builds up in tension around there. I really enjoyed that. And even though this book is, I believe it's like 230 odd, yeah, 230 pages, it's like a little novella, I felt like there was just so much packed into this. Like the way Catalina at the beginning, she was very closed off, didn't really like to share her emotions, and you got to see her like open up, and like she told her mother some things about what she had been feeling and things like that, and watching her open up to Luke, and I just really liked that. And I feel like I could have read like 200 pages more of like Catalina and Luke's story, because I just love them so much. And the fact he's called Dr. Darling, I feel like that's all you need to convince yourself to read this book. And in the epilogue, like Luke proposes to Catalina, and like the way he like proposes, it's like their perfect, probably her perfect like proposal, I'd probably say, because it's something that they both like are very big fans of. I don't want to say much because I want it to be a surprise for you guys, but they're very big fans of it, and just the way it happens, it made me just so happy. And I just love Lauren Asher's writing, I always do, and this book giving me the exact same like feelings and vibes. And it's because it's so short, it's so quick to read. If I had the time, I could have read it in like just one sitting and just sat there and like binged it. It was just so fun, so sweet, so cute, and so easy just to read. I think I've said this in previous clips in this video, but it's always hard to like rate a novella, but this one's a bit of a bigger novella, so I feel like it's a bit more easier to rate. Because I was debating whether to give it to 4.5, but then I'm like, I don't think it's quite a 4.5, and it's not a 4, so I'm settling on a 4.25 for this book. Also, I've just had some other thoughts, like they're both in like the medical field, and you get to see like the loss of like patients and how it affects them, and I really like enjoyed that sort of like perspective of it. And I feel like I would just definitely recommend this book, like especially around like Christmas sort of time. I've finished all the books I set out to read in this reading vlog, so let's do a quick like overview of each book and what I rated them. So the first book I read was Under the Under the Mistletoe with You by Lexi Huxley Jones, and I gave this, I believe, what did I give this? 3.5? 3.75? I have to look it up 1 second. I gave it 3.5, I did. I really liked it. I liked the setting. The romance stuff developed quite quick in a timeline, because it does take over like from the 20th of December to a bit after Christmas, I believe it does. So it's very quick paced, but I still liked it. The next book I read was Spectacular by Stephanie Garber. I did really like it, but I just feel like it was lacking something. I don't know what, but I feel like the illustrations made up for it, because I've showed you when I was reading this book, they were just like beautiful. And like I said probably when I read this book, I just wish we got to see more of Judy and Scarlett, because those two are my favourite characters from this book series. Did I say what I rated it? I don't know. Well, I rated it 3 stars if I didn't say. I don't think I did. So the next book I read was Cruel Winter with You by Ali Hazelwood, and I really liked it. It was so sweet, very, very short. It was like 78 pages long, so I literally read it in one sitting. I just sat there and read it in like an hour or an hour and a half, I think I read it in. And I really liked the characters. I just wish you got it in like a more in-depth like version of it, because I just love the characters. I love the storyline of it. I just loved it all in general, and I feel like if you want something to read on Christmas Day, this is probably a perfect one because you can easily read it on Christmas Day and fit other things around it that you're doing. And I gave this one 4 stars. And the last book I read was My December Darling by Lauren Asher. I literally just said my thoughts on this in like a couple clips ago, so I won't go too into depth, but I gave this 4.25 stars. I really enjoyed it. I wanted more. I could have read 200 pages more of these 2 characters, and just like there's so much packed into this like tiny little novella, and I just thought it was so sweet and so cute and adorable. So that is everything for today's video. I do hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some good Christmas recs. If you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up and comment in the comment section below what book you are most looking forward to reading around the Christmas holidays, and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me, and I'll see you next time. Bye!